enough of that. That's totally superfluous, and we haven't really got time for big intros this time. Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Space Engineers No Jetpack Survival. I am PsyPrime, and I'm in a hurry to get started because, well, it's a busy weekend for me. I want to try and get this done, get this out to you guys as quickly as I can. Obviously without sacrificing on the best parts of this, and the intro, you've got to admit, is not the best part of this. So we're going to continue building our large ship. Before that though, we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do on the roof though, so we are going to be doing some expansion on this ship, start to get some more of the shape in, so this one should be a really good one. But yeah, as I said, the last couple of episodes in fact, we've got some repairs to do. Shouldn't take very long. Just the fact is we've been struck by lightning a few times, we've been attacked a bunch of times, and we're in slightly poor shape. Okay, I apologise for the heavy breathing. Yes, we can breathe on this planet, but I tend to keep my helmet shut mostly because, well, I will try it with it open for a bit, but I think it's going to get annoying. But occasionally when storms come in, I take damage, and again, this is permadeath, we don't auto heal or anything. I've already got like 85% loss right now, so I can get that back from my med bay. That's the only way. Ugh, I hate that sound. No, we're closing the visor. I'm sorry. I think a little breathing is like acceptable for that circumstance. That one's okay. That's okay. They're damaged. The blocks to the sides aren't so bad. It's just collateral damage there. There we go. Right. Okay, let's get those materials that we need. One. Any damage to solars nearby? No. I think we got off quite lightly. Right, I think we're absolutely okay. Let's just make sure we get this block underneath. Yeah, that's fine. Right, all good. So that was it. That was all the repairing I need to do to keep this place reasonably safe. Right, so this episode we are expanding the big ship. We're going to add some space around the sides, and maybe if we've got time we'll get around the back a little bit and do some more there as well. Oh, no, wait. Ah, just decompressed. Doesn't matter, it's free. Bit of a doors angle there. Right, so what we know about this area here, we need to bring this up to the side. If I can get sort of like the cross section of the ship sort of right, then I can expand it forwards and back a little bit easier. Right, let's stop the heavy breathing. Okay, let's open a visor while I'm talking. Right, let's try and find a compromise here. So I want to bring this up a step. You know, we've got sort of a slope forming here. We go up another step on this level, so have I got materials for any of this? Yeah, I do. Basically, this would be like a slope up, and the next level would actually be kind of up here. That bit there would be a ramp, that block there would be missing. So I'm just going to put a couple of blocks here just to sort of get a feel for where we could be going with this. I think from here, actually, if we came out quite far, it should be alright. We can always use a bit of hole trickery to get it looking good on the outside. Bear in mind also, this is the very bottom of the ship. It's going to be well tall. It's going to be at least 3 decks. So from the bottom being here, I think one more. We'll fill in that hole once we figure out how. A few more. Yeah, thank you. Still got floor space to walk around on. Okay, so we're just going to work on this cross section. Just for the time being. Yeah, we might as well. What's 9.8? This is a drone facility. Got to keep an eye on these red markers because they can be a problem. Right, how many did we come out there? So we came out 4 blocks. It was the full width of that area, I think. Was it the full width? Yeah, it was. Okay. We're not in creative. We don't have like the luxury of mirror mode. And that's that. Right. Okay. So we're gonna, this bit here is gonna, well, let's try and work out how we can actually bring this in. So the obvious choice would be a simple slope bit like that. But I'm thinking actually what we could do is that, and then that, and keep going across that way. So one more comes up to there, and then that ends here. So that block would be that, and this one would be possibly something solid, or it could be a crawl space potentially, but I personally think it should be a solid block, at least on the outsides of this bit. So yeah, let's carry that on. Yeah, I'm going to bring this in like this. We might, no, that's about right actually, because we might be able to put the slope a little bit further in rather than it just being straight at the doorway. Okay, so now we need to replicate that on the other side before I go too far. Right. Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then doing that all the way across here. At some point we're going to have to do some welding up before we go too far, because otherwise we're going to end up with blocks that we can't weld. So I think maybe now's the time to do that line. Oof, God, no, Jay. Sorry. There we go. I would have put sneaky sounds on, but it doesn't play well. Well, it doesn't work at all with realistic sound mode, which is what we're using, because I like the space noises. And the slightly less arcadiness of it. So this thickening here, the extra sort of layout, might actually help to provide some additional protection to certain critical areas. So we kind of need to make sure that certain critical areas are protected by this bit. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of holding the wing of the ship on, so... Okay, I've welded one extra block, but that's fine. Let's even that out a little bit. Right. So that's where we're at with... Oh, no, one more block. I can't reach that block. Okay, we'll have to figure that one out later. Okay, so we're going to have to carry that whole shape along here. So have to carry the whole thing across. Do we go to one more? Yeah, I think we do. We'll figure it. We'll again, we might have to chip into some of these shapes, so forgive me if at some point we end up grinding down a chunk of stuff in places. We're kind of doing the Michelangelo approach, you know, just start with a big piece of marble and find the shape of the ship within it. That was oddly poetic. So obviously, like, this looks a bit like wasted space right now, but okay, we'll keep that shape for now. Oh, wait a minute, what's going on there? Oh, I haven't even filled this bit in yet. That's why it looks different. That bit there, I'm not sure about. I don't think there's a shape that would fit that bit, so I'm going to leave it for a minute. On both sides. Yeah, we'll figure that out shortly. Right. Did I go all the way to the end? Yes, I did. Some, like, harsh bits do kind of work with these sorts of builds. I mean, occasionally you want to sort of break the flow a little bit. Just to provide a little bit of interest. And it's a good opportunity to place things in. Okay. That's not bad. I'm missing a chunk though because I haven't done the top bit. So we're going to do more of these. Breathing heavily again. And I've just realised I'm making it worse for everybody that doesn't like the breathing by calling it out. I'm sorry. Right, there we go. Right, let's have a quick peek at that from the side. Well, from the front. No, this is the back. From the back, whatever. Okay, so if it came up like that and sort of carried on out a little bit and did something, like it'll do a thing of some sort, and then it went up like a fair bit more. I mean, admittedly, this deck here is going to be the tallest deck. It's like 3 blocks high. Plus like a couple on top, which is kind of like a crawl space mid deck. And then we're going to have a couple more decks on there that'll be like maybe 2 blocks high, then maybe one that's 1. Possibly part of it's going to be open. I tend to go with a slightly open front design, so you have like the very top decks sort of start from somewhere around here and go across to maybe about here, so like end of this bit, and then the front of the ship is kind of all lower decks and no top. Maybe, I don't know. This whole design is going to evolve as we go. It may turn into something a bit more asymmetrical, in fact, because we're not using symmetry mode at all. I'm just going to fill these in just because they're bugging me. Right, this bit here, uncertain about. I mean, this shape here might end up being superfluous, but it depends if I can find something that goes in that blends these. I very much doubt I will. So let's see what happens if I just see what we've got. If I did that, it looks a bit odd. So maybe we do have something that's kind of a halfway between. No, that face doesn't work. That face doesn't work. That face kind of does match though. Like that. That sort of works actually. I'd have to lose them too. I have a feeling. Yeah, that's not going to go in there. So I need light armor, half sloped corner, other side. It doesn't just rotate round, I'm sure. So that's that way. There isn't an opposite side. No, there isn't. Where's the other one? Ah, it does work. I'm just an idiot. Right. Spent far too long doing that. I think that works. For now. Right. For the time being, that sort of works. We may have to do something about certain parts of this, but it's just enough to bring that bottom part in and kind of integrate it with the rest of the shape, but also keeping it separate at the same time, whilst the rest of this will sort of blend into this shape as well. So let's have a go at doing that. I'm going to keep that corner off for the minute, because at some point I might want to start thinning it out. That wreck's still burning over there. Right. Yeah, so 3 of them there, and then here I need, yeah, that shape. Yeah, okay. That means I can put that there. I'll leave that off. I always stop one short, because it gives me the opportunity to sort of integrate if I have to. I need this one. Right. I'm trying to be careful not to lay any blocks that I can't weld back up later, like as in unwelded blocks sandwiched in between other blocks. So if I end up in that situation, then I'm probably going to have to sort of grind the whole thing down after I blueprint it and then weld it up on a printer, just to make sure that we catch all of the blocks. Right, am I missing anything here? Seems even enough. Right. The front is going to have to start coming in a bit. Although that's probably a good width for the front. Because bear in mind, the sides are going to be well wider towards the back. So yeah, that's not bad actually. Right. Okay, so we've got a bit more of a platform going on here, with a slight slope upwards, which we probably need to continue a bit further, but I can probably do more of that from inside. First, I need to heal myself. I'm at 85. If I get struck by lightning at 85, then I die. I will respawn here, but it'll ruin our never respawning streak. I mean, I have literally never, ever, ever respawned in this game so far on this particular playthrough. We are on episode 80, not sure, 5, 6, let's find out, let's save it. No message to tell me it was saved. Weird. 85, there we are. That took a long time to save. Okay, so yeah, we're 85 episodes in. That's probably about what, minimum, on average, probably 2 hours per episode of recording. On average. Some of them took a lot longer, some of them took a little less. So, yeah. Without any deaths yet. That could be considered either disappointing, if you like watching people repeatedly die, or an achievement. I'm going to have to do something with the interior of this elevator at some point, but, or lift, whatever you want to call it, but that's low priority. What is that noise? Oh, it was, yeah, ha 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 ha. I forgot that closes. Wait, okay, so clearly we need the means to get up here, but we can kind of do that anyway now. I think maybe we go up and forward. There's a room here for a door of some sort. It should really be an airlock, to be fair. But we could just put some controls on it to make sure that we can't open these doors if there's a breach in here. We'll make sure that the doors are shut and locked in the event of any kind of a breach. Okay, good. So that's that. Now I need stairs here. So there shouldn't be rubbish stairs like these unless... no, so I'm going to need a second space on each side. This is the point now where if I want to keep any symmetry, I have to sort of keep jumping back and forth. So you must forgive me for that. Stairs. Ooh, anniversary statue. Nice. I'm going to keep the sort of catwalky stairs for situations where they're kind of a little less formal and a little more kind of practical stairs. You know, sort of like engineering spaces. Here we go. So that'll be stairs to this deck here, which could be a bit wider actually, but this could be an intermediary space potentially with another staircase going up further because we need to get up above this line here at some point. But I don't want to waste the space in between just using this area just to get up. It needs to be, every area of the ship needs to be functional. Right. I'm full of all sorts of other stuff, so I need to put some things back, to be fair. Right. So, some nice stairs. Do the other side. I'm not... okay. I wasn't certain it was this I picked then. Right, so... okay. This is the side lower deck. And we're already at a deadly distance on the ground here. And it's windy. And we've got a good view out. This ship is going to be truly enormous. I mean, to give you an idea, all of that space at the back there as well, we're kind of just working on the mid, sort of like the second quarter of it, possibly. No, not even that. This is still like the first third of the ship. The front sort of third. Then we'll have from here like the middle chunk and then the rear engineering section. But this part here is going to serve to be kind of like the cross section that goes down the bulk of the middle of the ship. It's a shame we can't do the Space Engineers 2 thing where you could sort of blueprint this and then attach more on. Although you kind of could, I suppose. Could kind of like project a blueprint off this and just keep going. But then I'd need the means to try and weld it on, which just gets a bit messy at this point. So we are just going to have to manually build this. It reminds me of a certain ship I built. Well, oh, I've not repaired that bit. But at least it's not smoking anyway. Reminds me of a ship I built quite early on in my Space Engineers playing time. Not when I was recording, but this is before I discovered my ability to do YouTube videos. What am I going to do with this bit? That's interesting. We'll figure that out shortly. Yeah, I built an entire... bloody hell. I built an entire reasonably large frigate-sized sort of battleship. Completely under these sorts of circumstances, you know, no jetpack, well, no functional jetpack to speak of, on a non-creative world. And that was a fun build. Hang on. Oh no, it still goes to the front, that's alright. I need to decide kind of what to do with this bit. Because you come out here, and you can go forward. Then you're at this bit. And it feels a bit abrupt to just go stop there. Like if you went up these stairs and it was just a wall right there, that might be a bit abrupt unless it's to encourage you to turn the corner into the main room here. That possibly could be what we need to do. Now this is purely interior wall, this part, so it should probably actually just be plate. And it should probably be plate on the other side. because if I place on this side, I can't place anything here. So we'll cover that shortly. Right. This space here allows us to go back a bit further and open this up. So I probably should be building a lot of this out of interior plate because it's slightly lighter than steel plate, but I'm not worried about weight here. And interior plate's a pain in the neck to weld up. Some of this sort of build strategy is very much stick things in, sort it out later. It's kind of the nature of it. Right, let's kind of mirror that on the other side. Before I forget what I did and end up with something completely asymmetrical. It's not really my style, that. Right. Oh, and there also. Okay. That almost brings us into the battery compartment. We're one block below where that's going to come out. But we're in this area here where we've got windows. So these blocks, are they serving any kind of a purpose other than just widening the whole scope of that other space? They are just literally forming a bit of a barrier there. So once again, I am thinking... okay, we'll just get rid of some inventory. I'm thinking we could maximize this space a little bit better. See, again, just a little bit more revisionist here. We'll still have a dividing wall here, but it just won't be quite so abrupt. And I kind of want to help make these make more sense. Right. Come up here. Still, that's half a block away from this space. I feel like going this wide here is not serving a actually, no, we don't want just one block here to walk around. We need that extra half because it gets a bit there otherwise. Okay, so at this point here, I would like to think very carefully about what I'm doing here. The walking around part's down there. It's entirely below the height of that wall. Before I go any further, let's take these out. Okay. And we'll think about it from the other side. It might help me sort of get it in my head. Actually, no. It's got to be the other side because the other side is the one that matters to this bit because it's got the passageway there which has windows. I could take the windows out, but let's see how we go. So, let's see what I can do with plate here. Actually, no. Not with plate. Get this the right way around. That block space is totally taken there. If I go something like that. But that doesn't really look right. Let's go back to plate. Then you've got that weird ledge thing going on. Is there one that goes kind of half of that? Yes, there is. That works quite nicely. We'll figure that block out in a minute. Right, now, I doubt there's a block that sort of does that. So, it's possible I might have to square that off. But we'll just check. Well, that does the same thing, but it's a bit closer over this way. It sort of tucks under. That's better. Let's just do that for the minute. Yeah, I quite like that. This spot needs something. The other side's covered already. Yeah, not bad. Have to figure out what I'm going to do with these corner parts. This bit, yeah, this bit doesn't really work anymore. So I'm going to have to go with the half block that was here before. Sometimes it is a shame to lose a little bit of the shaping, but when you gain shaping in that sort of direction instead, it kind of works. It's not an entire loss. We may find another way to do it shortly, but for now it's not the end of the world. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling that. That's all right. Now, obviously we don't have that passageway going on this side. We should possibly put one in. But then again, you'd end up losing that slight asymmetricality that we kind of enjoy here. Okay, let's find a block I had just before. That one. So at least mirror what we were doing before. And this will have the advantage of opening up this space while kind of enclosing this one a little bit, which will make this feel a little less sort of huge and open, a little bit more kind of ship-like. But this space is going to be a bit more open and grand for whatever I'm going to put in it, which I haven't decided yet. But it's like this is slightly better armored here, so should be something kind of important, really, in my opinion, anyway. Okay, I think because we're not ramping here, I can just actually put one of those in there on each side. And we're going to have a doorway or something in there anyway. This part of the ship looks damaged. Okay, that's better. What do we put up there? Well, let's do that bit on the other side first before I forget. Yeah, I like this block. It's quite a nice block. Sort of seamlessly taps into that. And that kind of opens up this area here a little bit. I could really put some extra window bits in there, but I'm not going to. It's not too bad. I don't mind that it doesn't quite match. Maybe this one needs to change. Which means I'll be able to change this door, actually. I don't have the materials to do that right away. Let's put what I was going to really put in there. Side with a window. Go on. Nope. Oh, we only have them without... No, we've got to have one with a window. Okay, no window. Never mind. Right. Yeah, and now we can take the door out. Now I can put a proper door on there. So we can get back to what we were originally theming for this bit. Light, dark, dark. Girder. Girder. And somehow we ended up all the way up there. Again, it kind of all adds to the accessibility. Doing it the way we're doing it. Oh, too far. Yeah, it's definitely starting to feel a bit like a ship. I need a girder to... What? I need a girder to build a door, and it didn't give me a girder, because God knows why. Right. Now we've got a girder. Need a girder to build... Put everything back. Take what I need. And then... just take a bunch of them. Breathing again, sorry. Oh, that sounds awful. It's all very tinny and high pitched. Maybe it's normal, but we've just been muted so long. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good. I realise that by placing that in there, I've kind of stopped me being able to do anything in that space, and I'm not certain that that's what I want to do yet. In fact, I'm going to take that out because I really am not certain about that yet. We don't have one on the other side anyway. This block is doing nothing. Yeah, there was a superfluous block there. Right, so we have this space here. Now, I could do something along the lines of... No, not that one. Where are you? That. Right the way across here. It does sort of waste that area. So, I don't think I'll do it yet. Because this is a big open space that I could do something with potentially. Okay. I think we need a door in here on each side. So we need to decide on how we're going to exit this facility. Now, we don't have room for a big corridor. There'll be space for corridors at some point. Throughout the ship. In fact, actually, I wouldn't mind having a bit more corridorage through the ship. Oop, don't touch the mic. Right. So, but this particular first open space, I mean, there's tons of room for corridors in this ship, so we'll get there. Don't worry. Right. Doors. Doors, doors, doors. I feel that it's a bit silly to go with a narrow door for an area that could be potentially high volume. No. Offset door fits nicely there. It does bug me that it's got the number 2 on it. But you can't just rotate it and put the number 1 in the same space. You could just have a normal door. There's no numbers on that one. It's the oldest type of door in the game, to be honest. While it does kind of look a bit, you know, part of this in a sense. It's very Star Trek-y. Whatever it is, it's got to be a half something. It could be one of those the other way up. Got to decide which way up. Like that. And that kind of fits the design a bit better because of like all of these doors have got a similar sort of pattern on them. Yeah. That means which block do I take out? It's going to be that block. That block. Oh look, there's a hole in the ship. Well, nice to know some armor underneath the door block. I'm not going to lose the door block immediately. It doesn't look too bad actually, that. It's almost like there's a little doormat. And down is a good direction to point when you're wanting the door that you might need quick direction, you know, quick access to. So that's good. Right. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's do the same on this side. Rotate you. Bam you in there. There did you? Good. Yeah, works nicely. Just let's close them both and see how they look. Well, let's just close one and see how it looks. It's alright, apart from that hole in the wall there, but we'll figure that out. Yeah, not too bad. We've still got to get a little bit higher up and cover up all this and sort out this lot, but we'll get there. Right. Okay, so we've got the doorway in and it's neatly integrated, which is great.
Energy low.
And I need energy. Good, right. So right, that's the way in there. This block here might be a superfluous block. We may end up building across here. We'll figure it out. Asteroid being lit up by the sun. Loads of asteroids. Right. That's where the piping is. So if we need any cargo access in this deck, which almost certainly will for anything useful, we're going to have to come in and pipe in from there. Can't go through that. That's not really an issue. We could come in from this side, come down over there into the floor and pipe in from the floor. I think that makes the most sense, to be honest. So I need the means to get up. Now, both sides of those are connected, so that's fine. I can take this straight out. Now, this is going to help hold that piston in place, actually. This is good. Nice little secondary side effect here. I don't want that kind. I need something tidy. This bit here, though, is going to need it. This bit here needs something neat. So let's go with our more pipey blocks. Conveyor junction. Do we want the D up? Yeah, I think we do. Don't necessarily need the down, though. But we can't have the up without the down. So I'll put that in there and I might cap it afterwards at some point. Right, so you have to get some more materials for this. And we're also going to have to deal with that on the other side as well. Here we go. Fine. So this is more just for like when you're in here, how's it going to look from their sort of point of view? I could put a cargo access on the inside of that, to be honest, but maybe not. I'm not sure. We also have to think about airtighting certain parts of the ship as well. So, well, not so much airtighting, sorry, but adding like vents and things. So in here, for example, one of these blocks here is going to have some sort of a vent on it. Whereas the inside of there shouldn't, because it's exposed to space a lot of the time. Yeah, we'll work out a venting situation, but we're going to take it into account as we go to make sure that we do leave spaces for it. Otherwise, we're going to have to start hacking into the ship and making ventilation, which I don't mind doing, but for those of you that are following along, and I know a few of you are, it could get quite difficult if I start like later on making really complicated hacky jobs to get things working. And yeah, we'd rather try and avoid making a mess like that. Now, here I definitely just need an ordinary junction block of some sort. I don't think it needs to be one of them. I think it could just be a... if I do that, that's not going to be airtight. That's a problem. It's going to have to just be a conveyor. Big block. Yeah, I don't really have a choice. It's got to be one of them. Any other option's not going to be airtight at all because of the pipe block. We can't use other than the pipe block because it needs to be pretty. Right, there we are with that. Which means now I can block those in. Okay, let's do the other side. I need a marker to say where it was. Because the other side's a bit different. 1, 2, third block in at the top. One, two, third block in at the top. A little less obvious. But we know if I do that and then that, and this gives an additional side connected to that, because even these pipe blocks, when you use the full junction, have a connection on each side, so that will help keep that piston in place. Okay. Carrying a load of rubbish again. Oh, okay. What the hell? How did I have two of them in? Just weird. Did definitely weld the other one, didn't I? Now I could have come in from over the top but that sort of defeats the whole point of having a spine through the ship. You can't have a spine go all crooked and all over the place. It just wouldn't. It would be impractical. It invites more opportunities for it to become disjointed. Okay, close there. Right. Is it getting lighter or darker? I think it's getting darker. Yeah, and I realise I've left the lights on my ship. That thing is going to be running out of power. Let's go down and sort it out. That's good timing. So this ship's a completely different style to anything else, but generally speaking, does the job quite well. How are we on power? 6 hours of power left. Is everything off? Let's turn that off. Oh, it's automatic, isn't it? We can turn that off. Right. 6 hours of power left in here. But actually, I could just turn the whole thing off. Even the door won't work then. Right, that's fine. Okay, so where are we at now with this? It's very unintimidating at the moment, but again, you know, we're just looking at like one part of the overall shell, so not really a lot going on yet. Might as well get some of these welded up. Huh? Right, let's stop running. Yeah, get our breath again. Let's walk. Nah, not walk. Right, so where did we get to? Right, we've done that on both sides. So they kind of match. We need to bring some sort of a pipe down here. It needs to be a visible one. Or we need to have a block in here that will connect. But we know it's going to come into the floor here. Now this is wide open to space underneath here. But it's also a really good spot for a thruster. So some sort of a conveyor system down here would be really beneficial. So we can bring in thrusters. If we had one of the big 9 thrusters in here, so it would connect to the bottom of there. So that's where that would come in there. So I know for a fact that we're going to need one of these in there. I know we're high enough off the ground for a thruster to sit in there quite neatly. Because below here we've got 1, 2, possibly, yeah, at least 2 blocks down. And then another one below before we actually touch the ground. So this will be very close to the ground. Maybe we bring it up. Actually, no, this could be a part of the lift engine room. Do we bring this up one more and have the thruster slightly in this space? I don't mind that idea. Right, okay. What does that mean? Protect our hearing. This is not an irresponsible work environment. Okay. Now, sooner or later, this thruster could eventually be maybe replaced out with something better. And, right, so here... I'm going to have to place the thruster, actually. I know the thruster is like a 3x3x3. If I remember rightly. So, that's our 1, that's our 2, that's our 3. So that it keeps it a little off the ground so it's not going to get knackered, and kind of helps protect the thruster slightly. So if it ends here, let's try and place one in. I think it should go in. It should go in fine, actually. Do we have any kind of space for thrusters? We're not going to need atmospheric thrusters, I don't think. Atmospherics are ridiculously weak. Large hydrogen thruster, that should be ideal, right. I want the new kind, yeah, the industrial kind. Now, which way round do I want it? Yeah. So that'll be in there like that. Now that's not airtight on its own, but let's see how that actually appears from the outside. But actually, let's cut out the other side just to make sure, so we can place the other one in while we're down there. So it was flush up against the wall. We're going to need a lot more of these, but we can sort of dot them all the way down. Oh, do you know what? I might as well just place it in while I'm up here. Right, let's get this the right way around. It was that way around for that, so we'll just turn it 2 to go that way. First.
Storm inbound.
Bloody hell. Gotta be coming from that side, I think. Whoa, no. I think they're all too far away to do any serious damage. Yeah, they're way far away. I'd not like to see one of those up close. We safe? Yeah, we're safe. Right, we're oh god, actually no, I was one out. These are well longer. It's going to have to be one higher, I think. Because like landing like that is seriously risking doing some major damage to these. What's the other type look like? I mean, I know that's the cool type, but that type is the same. No, it's a bit smaller, isn't it? Yeah, we'll have to go for the old kind, I think. The new kinds are cool, they look great, but bloody way too big for down-firing thrusters. Don't think they offer anything other than a cosmetic difference, but it is interesting how they've actually physically made them a different size to each other. I don't recall there being any other difference other than appearance. Yeah, that's a perfect fit like that. That looks quite nice. We're going to deal with that some point eventually. There's been a few suggestions around this, but generally speaking, it's the only place I could think of putting it. If I had another block in there, this is not going to go on because this block takes up the entire space, and anything I put in here is going to take up the entire space. Because we're building a large grid and every single block takes up the same amount of space as every other block, even if it doesn't look like it. Well, obviously that takes up more space, but like it's always the nearest whole block in the space it occupies. So this little block takes up an entire block space. If you see there, takes up the same space as that. So for those of you that are new to this, that's one of the limitations of Space Engineers 1 that has been overcome in Space Engineers 2. That is no longer a thing. Okay, that's fine. So this bit here, we're going to have to figure out how to deal with it. We can't fill in these spaces because, again, this block takes up the entire cube-ish thing. But yeah, I think that's one for another time. So yeah, we've got our first engine in on each side. 2 lift thrusters. We're going to need a lot more of those lift thrusters, but again, all that space down there to get these in at various intervals throughout. We're not going to fill in this whole thing, but I think after this bit we could probably come... Well, that's ideal actually. We could come back out here to this part. Let's just extend that out. Just have this little interlude where we don't have the slope. I'm going to put some blocks in just to sort of do that, if you know what I mean. Just to give me the impression, at least, so we don't forget. It was kind of a long way around doing that. Yeah. Yeah. Carry on that like that. Yeah. Like so. That also means I could do that. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I don't know if we do that or not. Doesn't look too bad though. Yeah, I quite like that. That's alright. Okay, so I think that's enough for this one time. Starting to see a bit more of the lower shape coming in. Again, this front end, don't know what we're doing that yet. This is going to get a lot wider. I mean, we're not really width restricted by the platform down here, so we're only really length restricted at this end and a little bit at that end because of the slope of the hill, but we're going to take up as much of the space as we probably can without getting a bit too ridiculous. So, okay, good. I'm going to leave that here, and we will come back to that next time, which will be more than likely Saturday next week. The Saturday for the UK, could be Friday night for those in the US, possibly Saturday morning, depends on how we go. I have a little less time this next week because of certain birthday festivities, not mine. But yeah, it's a bit of a busy week this week, so we'll get as much recording done as we can. Hopefully I'll get an episode out next time, on the next weekend, but if not, it will be shortly after that weekend there, so just keep your eyes open for any announcements on YouTube. And have a fantastic weekend and whatever else happens between now and next time, and we will see you then. Bye for now.